Hey everyone, Kim here with Abundant Life Tarot. Thank you so much for joining me for another Mystery Mystic Monday. This is where we do readings to explore the energies surrounding mysterious circumstances or mysterious deaths or mysterious disappearances. And I want to give a special thanks and shout out to Monica for submitting this recommendation. We are going to be discussing the disappearance of Jasmine Moody. Jasmine was a 19-year-old college freshman from Texas who traveled to Detroit, Michigan to hang out with a friend over Thanksgiving break. Her disappearance occurred on December 4th, 2014. That's when she was reported missing. And what's interesting about her case is that her friend had expressed that they had gotten into an argument over something that was, shared on Facebook or something happening on Facebook. And the friend left the room. And when she returned back to the room, Jasmine was gone. But Jasmine only had on a sweatshirt, and she did not take her personal effects. She didn't have her cards. She didn't take her tablet. And so that seems unusual. And she was in Detroit, and it's really cold there. So I can't imagine that she would have gotten very far without the proper attire. As such, her family has been searching for a very, very long time. It is, 2022. I'm recording this video. It's September 3rd, 2022. And to date, there's still been no real answers. And I'm not quite sure if her friend has been cleared by police or not. I don't know the circumstances. I didn't want to go too far into research. I just wanted to get the basic understanding of what happened. And so, we're going to dive in and see what's going on. I am going to do the opening oracle reading as we do. And then I will use that reading as inspiration for the questions that we will be exploring in part 2, the detailed tarot and oracle reading. Sometimes I might be called to do a part 3 or a part 4 even, but we at least know we're going to be in for this for at least 2 videos. So get comfortable, folks. We've got a lot to cover, and this one might be a bit heavy, I'm anticipating. I can just intuitively feel it. All right, loves, let's get started. Okay, so let's take a look at the energy surrounding what may have happened, what was happening before, during, and what has transpired after Jasmine's disappearance. We got the antidote. Thank you. Book. Storm. Okay, I'm going to reshuffle. Call to reshuffle that. What else? What else, Jasmine? What else happened? What else is going on? I did a pre-reading on this. Shuffled this card like a gazillion times just to make sure we get a good mix. And the rat card came out in her pre-reading I did earlier today. Shuffled it really good. And so we'll put that there. And then, here it is again. The rat card and the door. I'll show you all in a minute what we got. Girl. Whew, okay. All right. So we got antidote, book, book, storm, rat, can you see that? Rat, door, I almost reshuffled that one back in, and girl. All right, so we're looking at the overarching energy surrounding the disappearance, right? Sometimes Spirit wants to reveal things about, Jasmine herself or the people around her, or the days and weeks and months leading up to the disappearance, to kind of give you some context as to why things are unfolding the way they are unfolding. So we're going to look a bit closer at these cards. Sorry for the jumpy tripod, but I want to zoom in for a moment because I want us to get a good look. So here we got antidote. Okay, you see that card there, the antidote. This is like someone living in a negative way, a negative lifestyle. They come from a very challenging situation, maybe a rough neighborhood, bad neighborhood. And what I'm sensing here is this book card represents Jasmine. She was going to college, so that means that she's at the very least, well-read and educated enough to make it and get accepted into college and take courses and whatnot, right? So for that, she was like a welcome remedy to a relationship. And it could be speaking to the relationship she had with her girlfriend. I'm not going to say her girlfriend's name. You can easily find it on the internet. But in all of this, by the way, you all, as you know, is alleged, okay? This is just what I'm picking up intuitively. Sometimes it's not even speaking so much about the disappearance, but things that led up to it. Sometimes it is all about the disappearance, okay? So there's a female with a girl card. I'm kind of called to hit all the cards and, as I'm intuitively called to look at them, I'm not necessarily called to read them like this. But just as Jasmine may have been an escape because she is a bit more, educated. She comes from a great, a great family, a solid background, strong foundation. Her people do things by the book. She liked the adventure, the feeling like she could be a cure to a toxic situation with this antidote card. So it was, in a way, they didn't know this, but it was mutually beneficial for the both of them to be in this dynamic. However, this was a stormy connection. I do sense that what Spirit is speaking about is a relationship, and probably my hunch would be that it's speaking about a relationship with the girl, her friend that she went to Detroit to meet. Okay, this also could simply represent Jasmine, and I'll tell you why in a moment. Sometimes with these cards, they can be dual meanings or dual symbolism or some dual themes. It doesn't always just represent one thing. It could represent many things. There was a storm with the girl. What does storm represent? It represents, turbulent times. It can represent danger and troubled emotions, a combustible situation, something that kind of sparked out of nowhere, a storm that snuck up. It could have also been a brewing storm. It could have just been that there's been this storm energy. And we've got the rat card. And if you've been watching my mystery series, you may see this card come up often. And the reason being is often these disappearances that I end up called to cover and do in these readings, they seem to have an element of rat-like behavior. What is rat-like behavior? For this deck, it's defined as a trustworthy person, a traitor, someone who turned their back on you, someone who will bite you. Well, when things are going their way, they're great. But when things are not going their way, they will turn on you, a traitor. So that's probably why a lot of the readings I'm called to read on has some element of that. And Spirit is like, okay, this is the card that you are very familiar with. So this is the one that's going to pop up for this reading because I sense you are most connected with this card, with this meaning. So we got the rat card. And this was a toxic situation that ended up turning. Somebody walking through that door and going there. A girl. Could the girl be? Could it be Jasmine? Because the card here in that, how it's defined in the guidebook, is innocence, carefree thoughts, youthful emotions. Could it be both of them? Very well could be youthful emotions. Something where you could have resolved this with cooler heads, more mature thoughts. A little bored. I don't think they were, there's no mention of drinking or smoking, but sobering thoughts to calm each other down. There was some sort of storm situation that doesn't bode well for Jasmine, because it means that someone may have turned on her. Someone may have turned on her and betrayed her and may have opened the door to her being hurt, being turned on, a stormy situation, being caught in somebody's dangerous, turbulent emotions. And it relates to a female. We've got this rat card, and the door card could also symbolize some sort of clue, perhaps, some sort of clue. And we'll see how that manifests as the rest of the readings go as I go deeper. I'm curious about what that door card could mean. Could it represent where, that she walked out the door willingly, this girl? Someone felt betrayed. Or could it mean that the rat walked through the door with the girl after this stormy situation? Could it mean that they got into a stormy fight or argument and the girl left? There's something about the door that is critical to the case. Door is about choices. One of the key meanings, making a choice. Sometimes we can't change course after we make that choice. And going down a path, opening that door and going down a path of no return. So this is an interesting reading. I have to say. I'm going to zoom out for a moment. And I'm curious to hear what you all think. And do you know this case? It is a cold case, like I mentioned before. So I don't know if many of you have heard about it. Spirit, what additional guidance are you willing to share with us about what may have happened or transpired, or who may be responsible? Jasmine, thank you, love. Thank you for sharing with us. By the book. Any guidance here from this deck, Spirit, about maybe the person, the relationship, dynamics. The child I was meant to be. Remember I was saying that they weren't thinking with mature minds? The child I was meant to be. Kind of speaks to that. There's no cards wanting to come in. Oh, artificial heart. Someone felt like it was fake. Fragmentation. Someone felt like it was fake love, fake feelings, fake like everything, and it caused them to feel torn, fragmented, disjointed to the relationship, disjointed to the situation. This fragmentation speaks to 1 minute I really love this person, I want them in my life. The next minute I'm kind of repulsed and like not feeling them because I feel like they are artificial to me. They're not showing up like in an authentic way. And why is that? And it can be kind of rather immature. I get an immature vibe with this card for some reason. The child I was meant to be. Someone who maybe is young. And granted, Jasmine's was 19 at the time, so I imagine that her friend that she was visiting was maybe a similar age. I don't know. I didn't look that far into it, but regardless, I feel like she's a little immature for what we would expect. It could also be the naivety of Jasmine, of not understanding that, maybe this situation was like not a solid one because somebody maybe was feeling the other person more at times, and it just, I don't know, fragmented energy. Okay. Let's see. Someone has anxiety or had anxiety. Obsession. Must have indulgence. Okay. Untold truth about their connection. Someone felt manipulated. Someone felt like somebody was playing mind games. I feel like it may have been her friend or someone that she was encountering that felt that way. Listen, let's just cut to the chase, right? She was in Detroit. Now, a stranger could be totally involved, or it could be some kind of mixture of maybe her friend knows someone who may have come into contact with Jasmine and betrayed her. Like the friend is the betrayal because she's not coming forth and saying what's on her mind. And why is that? She's scared. She's in a panic. It could mean that. But what's interesting to me is this card, obsession, must have, indulgence. Who was feeling obsessed in this connection? Was it Jasmine towards this friend, or was it her friend towards her? And then somebody feeling like there was mind games or manipulation going on. Somebody was playing around, not being serious. It was causing anxiety. And as a result, as opposed to someone just saying, you know what, let me just walk away from a situation. Let me just move forward. I'm just going to instead overindulge and still try to stick around because I'm hooked to this person. I'm obsessed with this person. Despite feeling like, whether it's right or wrong, it could be that somebody was a bit immature and misunderstood what things, how things were. I don't know. It's just an interesting vibe I'm picking up on with this reading. And I can't quite put my finger on it. Let me see. Spirit, anything else to share about her disappearance, about Jasmine's disappearance? Okay, one fell to the floor. two or more. So we'll scoot this down. An ocean. I don't know. So two or more means that two or more people. Remember I was saying earlier that I feel like someone could have encountered her, or beach. Is there waterways around? Is there waterways around that in Detroit? I mean, I don't know Detroit like that, so I don't know. I have to look at the map. She's close. Okay. She's very close. It's interesting to me. Just transport it. I'll show you all these cards in a moment because I'm going to set them up over there and take a couple of pictures of the cards that jumped. Okay, let me see what we got so far. So, remember we got two or more, so someone had help. They either had an accomplice or someone aided and abetted after the fact. Someone has some information, someone helped, someone is a party to this disappearance of Jasmine. Water could be involved. This could mean some element of drowning. I'm starting to learn with these readings, it doesn't necessarily mean all the time a huge body of water. It could be submerged. It could be some kind of drowning effect on the body. It also could be tied to drowning in a highly toxic and emotional situation. The motive feels very personal to me, but we'll see. I'll see what these other cards are saying here before I just jump to that conclusion. Hold on, there's a glare. I need to move this over. So I'm going to put these over here and take a separate picture. But we've got female child victim. And when I was reading an article or two on Jasmine's disappearance, I was like, wow, they said she's a teenager, and she is. She was at the time. She was 19. So to me, this could perhaps speak to her. It, also could mean there's some other female child victim, but I sense. Remember, I was saying that there's this youthful energy here, of innocence here. That speaks to Jasmine, that there is a victim. She's speaking to us now. She's definitely here. When I rolled my divinatory die, you can't see it. It's all the way off the screen. Let me see if I can turn it over. Let me point to it. Let me see if I can bring it. I spent time with her these last few days, and I asked, is she here with us? Is she, with her guides to my guides, will she share what she can and what we can understand? And we got definitely. So she's here. She's here. And she's conveying what she can. So beach, now this could speak to that energy of maybe something happening in this stormy situation. The friend admitted that they got into an argument in her home. However, from what I read in the article, it sounds like her home was searched, but I don't think they found anything out of the norm or ordinary. So, in terms of maybe taking her somewhere and moving her. Now, of course, they may not be moving her in this big old Mack truck, or some people might even look at this truck and be like, "Oh, I get trafficking vibes." Perhaps, but I'm sensing this card is speaking about movement and moving from one place to another. Okay, and going over a bridge, or a bridge being nearby. Could be symbolic of some sort of bridge between two worlds. We got southwest. Guilty, knowledge, did the act. Someone who is involved or may have been interviewed by the authorities is guilty. They have knowledge, they did the act. This means that they did do something. We're going to explore in the Tarot and Oracle reading what that something was, okay? And she was very close to her last known location, 0 to 15 kilometers. That's very close. That means that whatever happened in very close proximity to where she was at in Detroit. Now, does this mean that her girlfriend had anything to do with it? No, it doesn't necessarily mean that. And we're going to ask some questions about whether or not she was involved in the Tarot and Oracle reading. So definitely watch part 2, because I'm going to be asking these questions about that and we'll also explore if there's anyone else that could be involved, in the situation. But as it stands now, it looks like she was taking southwest or southwest verbiage. It could even be like a street with southwest, but it could also literally mean directionally southwest, 0 to 15 kilometers away. Transported, body of water, and someone who did this is guilty. Now that I'm getting this kind of confirmation, I am called to use my Murder Mystery Oracle cards. Okay, so Spirit, any additional insights you wish to share? Interesting. Okay, now I don't think that her girlfriend is in jail or did anything as far as like going to jail. There has been no arrest made in Jasmine's disappearance. So that, these cards are interesting to me. And remember, we have the two or more. Research similar crimes in the area to see if they are linked. Maybe this is also about process of elimination, ruling out someone's involvement, based on similar circumstances is powerful because it helps you to kind of draw back into where your attention should lie, law enforcement. So research similar, and it also could speak to similar crimes in the area to speak to someone who may do things like harm people, not maybe for payment, but for favors. I don't know. This is a weird vibe I'm picking up on, and I don't understand it or know it or understand why, but it says killer or perpetrator may currently be in prison for another crime. So this person could have gone to prison, not related to this, could have done another crime since then, maybe has done time in the past, and now, or done a crime in the past and now is doing time for that particular crime, or it could be something similar and they got caught up and the police have not connected the dots. I mean, I don't know. I'm not getting like a person did it for hire. I'm getting it like the artificial heart could speak also, this card here, to someone who is kind of heartless, who's just, I don't know, I don't want to say harm for sport. This two or more, this is also about a cover-up element, a cover-up. We have drugs may be an important factor in the case. Either the perps could have been drugged or high or not right in the head, which led them to their immature behavior turning on Jasmine. I do sense that. I'm going to, basically ask, in the reading, in the Tarot and Oracle reading, if Jasmine was familiar with the person who may have caused her disappearance and may have harmed her. The last card we got was contamination of DNA evidence may be influencing this case. Okay. So, someone did a cleanup. They destroyed evidence. They did a meticulous job of removing DNA from where something happened behind closed doors. And I'm sensing transported her, and then she met her demise outside of the home. But something happened behind closed doors with this door card and the storm card. Something happened. Okay. All right, you all. Just making sure. Yeah. Some other key meanings for the book card is escaping from reality. They were escaping. This was an intimate situation that led up to her disappearance. They were escaping reality, that Thanksgiving holiday break. But it didn't turn out quite well with the storm card. Someone was very immature about things and irrational even, and made some choices, walked through the door of choice, made some choices that led up to her demise. Drugs could also indicate that maybe there was some drug use going on. There's no judgment. It could be or somebody may have slipped or something. The ocean card, or sometimes when I get antidote, it can sometimes mean that there's some sort of tonic or some sort of something. It could be something poisonous to the body that needs curing with the antidote card. Someone being drugged and doing something to someone else. I don't know. It just, yeah, I don't know. This makes me sad, but I knew it was going to be heavy. We're going to see what comes up with the questions in part 2. So definitely join me on that. Please do me a favor. Hit the like button on your way out. It really helps me. It helps the channel. It helps get the word out about especially these cold cases. We want to get the word out because I do sometimes have people watching these cold cases and reaching out. Oftentimes it's loved ones and family and people who are from the community and, thankful that we're raising awareness about the case. But every now and then I've gotten some interesting emails, interesting phenomenon that happens. And I think it could be from people who may have insight knowledge on the cases. So yeah, it comes with that too. But I'm prepared. I'm a strong gal. And we're going to keep going. So thank you for subscribing. Thank you for joining me. Thank you for your thoughtful, kind comments. And I will see you all in part 2. Please take very good care of yourselves. I always take a still shot of the spreads. So, don't click off just yet, because sometimes people pause and they look at the spreads that I have laid out during our reading so they can take in the images and see what your own individual intuitive hits are saying. Love you all. Bye for now.